Babes, I cannot believe it's taking me this long to make this sort of video. What's been holding me back? On today's video, I'm going to be showing off plants in my collection that the whole world just needs to see. These are plants, all beautifully grown. And remember, we're not plant snobs on this page. This is going to be an eclectic mix of both common, uncommon, rare, basic plants, but all they have in common is that they are beautifully grown. Trust me, all of them will just have you in awe and even inspire you to add them to your collection. Without much ado, let's proceed with this video, starting off with probably my favorite plant in my entire collection. This auntie here, she's right here. Let me quickly bring her out because her beauty has to be seen. Oh my God. First plant we must showcase is my beautiful Dieffenbachia Big Ben Variegata. Look at the material, guys. Look at the material. I feel like the camera doesn't even do her justice. The amazing thing about this plant is that I grew her from when she was small and she looked like a hot mess. This was literally her 3 years ago. I didn't know what plant that was. I just thought it was quite mystifying, and I'm so glad that I got her because look! Oh my goodness, I have gotten so many offers to buy this plant. Offers ranging in the hundreds of thousands, but I have refused. We will not path ways. We will be together forever as far as I'm concerned. Should I blow your mind? Should I blow your mind? This plant is growing entirely in coco coir. Can you see? Wow. She's growing entirely in coco coir. No fancy soil, nothing. I just dumped her in coco coir and she is very happy. Now, because coco coir doesn't have any nutrients, I do, however, have to always ensure that I fertilize this babe. Every now and then, I will just top up with some compost or top up with some manure, or if I have like some slow release fertilizer in hand, I will just dump it in the soil every now and then, but I always ensure that Auntie is properly fertilized. Look at this beauty, babes. If you have the chance to add this plant to your collection, please do so. Like, she's worth every single penny. She's one of the most unproblematic rare plants. She's one of the most unproblematic rare plants. She's become quite top heavy. The downside of growing plants is coco coir is the soil is so light that yeah, sometimes it can't really like hold these plants as firmly as I want them to be. But you know, as long as she's healthy, as long as she's fine, and as long as there's nothing wrong with her, I don't mind. Left for me, this entire video will be about this plant. But let me quickly drop Auntie and we move on to the next gorgeous specimen. All right, back you go, babes. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Look at the material. Wow, this is my Monstera deliciosa. I'm so speechless. Sometimes you don't really know how amazing your plants are until you literally hold them and carry them and you're like, I grew this? Oh my God. So this is your Monstera deliciosa, but this is not your regular Monstera deliciosa. This is the large form or the crawling variant. So as you can see, I am not using a moss pole or any form of pole to grow this plant because it doesn't need it. It doesn't climb, it actually crawls on the ground as it grows. Now, I recommend this instead of the usual climbing monstera for beginners because you don't need to worry about supporting this plant at all. You don't need to worry about moss poles, supports, a trellis, all of that. Just allow sis do her thing. She will actually prefer to grow in a horizontal pot, but no, she's fine in a pot like this as well. And oh, I forgot to show you in her pot have kept some aspicias. I use them as top dressing for my plants. They're so cute, aren't they? Just look. But anyways, I'm back to this babe. The only downside, and this may not necessarily be a downside, but the only downside is that this plant grows so slowly. Literally 1 leaf a month outdoors in the tropics. So, in optimum light condition, this is still giving me a 1 leaf a month. But in a way, that's a good thing because This is a plant that takes up too much space. So if it were fast growing, it's gonna take up so much space in your home. So yeah, I think it pushing out one leaf a month, or it's being this slow growing, is actually an advantage given its massive size. Can't even bring myself to put this plant down. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's giving thumbnail material. I'm going to choose between her and my Dieffenbachia Big Ben for a thumbnail, but let's pose for a thumbnail together. Let's do this.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is
I'm so
that?
awkward. That's the awkward life of a YouTuber. Can I tell you a secret before I drop this plant? I actually prefer this plant to my Thai constellation. I have a Thai constellation, but I low-key prefer this babe to my Thai constellation. Don't tell my Thai constellation though. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Guys, it's about to rain heavily. I shot this on a cloudy day. I just hope the lighting is good enough for you to really appreciate these beauties. But let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one is this auntie here. We have to, my Philodendron painted lady. We have to go back to really appreciate her full beauty. My Philodendron painted lady. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was actually buying this plant. I remember a friend of mine was like, "Hey Buka, get this plant," and I still had my doubts, but shout out to you, Ada. You convinced me to buy this plant. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. This plant is so easy, guys. The only challenge I have with this plant is that she grows too fast. It feels so unsustainable to grow her on a pole because literally in a matter of like 3 months, Madame has climbed and filled up her pole. This plant has also made me quite some money because I've also sold many plants propagated from this babe here. Like such a rewarding plant in every aspect and every sense of the word, in my opinion, basically. The trick to getting this plant to have the perfect variegation where it gets its name from, can you see that the leaf literally looks like a painting? The trick is that it needs some form of direct sunlight. Yeah. If you don't give this plant direct sunlight, most of the leaves will end up being like bland and green. If you want colorful variegated leaves, you must give it some form of direct sunlight. Please avoid harsh sunlight. It will take harsh direct sunlight, but it won't look great. It will look faded. Trust me. If you want the perfect light, it needs mild direct sunlight, preferably morning direct sunlight. But again, let's go back so we can appreciate her beauty. Look at the material, babes. Sis has even outgrown. I just almost forgot to show you guys. Look, like I said, the challenge I have with this plant is that it grows so fast and it gets so root bound, especially in this part of the world. It literally grows very aggressively. That's the only downside to owning this plant. But aside from that, she's beautiful, easy, iconic. If you're curious about what mix I grow most of these plants in, I have actually a video showing you how I actually make my soil mix. It's the same soil mix I use for all my plants, including my succulents. Literally use the same soil mix for like 90% of my plants. Whether you're a succulent, you're an aeroid, you actually don't need specialized soil mix for plants. Just use whatever you can to make whatever, as long as it has good drainage and as long as there's some form of nutrients, then you're good to go. Oops, almost fell down, but let's have a moment to properly look at the material, guys. Whew. This is why plant people don't need to go to the gym, because by the time we finish carrying all these plants, we've gotten the workout that we need for an entire month. This next one is quite interesting. Guess what plant this is? Guess what fuzzy cute. This is a kalinkoe. This is a kalinkoe, but just, she looks so yummy, fuzzy, and cute. I don't see you guys in the States, you know, talk about this plant or even own this plant. And it's probably the most common kalinkoe you find here in Nigeria, in Lagos specifically. And why I feel that is so is because it does so well in our weather elements. It can take direct sun and harsh sun, but most importantly, it can also take rain. Like this soil I have this babe green in is literally always moist, and she's in a place where like the rain just dumps on her, but she doesn't mind. For a succulent, I'm in awe. She absolutely doesn't mind. I'm not quite sure what particular kalinkoe this is. I just know babe is a kalinkoe, and she does flower, although not as regularly here in this part of the world, but she does flower. Her flower tends to be a beautiful reddish color. She's never flowered for me. She's a prolific grower in the right conditions, especially if you water her properly, and also she sun stresses beautifully in the dry season when the weather is extremely hot. She just sun stresses to a beautiful reddish color. I mean, just look at the fluffy material. Look at the fluffy material. You need to get into this plant. Take screenshots and, query your big box store, your local gardening centers to stock this plant. Get into sis and look at the material. Okay? Moving on to the next one. Look at the material, babes. Look at this beautiful, impeccable specimen. Oh my god, I love aglaonemas because regardless of whatever type, they are mostly easy, they're very drought tolerant, they allow me to have a life. I don't have to worry about watering these babes, iconic, beautiful plants, and they're colorful. Imagine this on your porch. Imagine this on your porch. Imagine this on the entrance of your home, on your veranda, on your balcony. Look at the material. So guys, I want you to start appreciating aglaonemas a lot more. They are not boring office plants. These colorful variants are just iconic and amazing. And everyone needs to get into them ASAP. Oh my god, look at the material. Look at the material. My face is completely covered up. Amazing. 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 Again, I have to use my favorite catchphrase and ask you to look at the material. Oh my god, this is my Anthurium, variegated Anthurium hookery, and the only thing stopping this plant from sizing up and being big, because it gets really big, the only thing stopping this plant from doing so is the pot it's in. So this Anthurium, the bigger the pot you place it, the bigger and fatter and huger the leaves will be. But that's about to change because we are going to be reporting this plant into a bigger pot soon. And I'm going to be making a video like a pot and kiki session with you, like a Q&A type thing. So yeah, I'm saving the report for that. But like in the meantime, she is still beautiful. She is still immaculate. She is still iconic. Like, oh my goodness gracious, guys. I low-key wish I shot this on a brighter day, but we just have to make do with the weather. It's the rainy season. It's always cloudy. We just have to make do with the weather elements and just shoot our YouTube videos. So guys, oh my goodness gracious. Another rare plant that is definitely worth it. Like if you can get this babe, please add her to your collection. She's extremely hardy, extremely hardy. Yeah, so just look. Looks like a painting, does it not? Amazing, iconic, amazing. This next one is also another Anthurium. Bam! I don't quite know what Anthurium is. I think it's an Anthurium silver blush. But guys, she is so full and cute and like bouncy. Just look. Again, I have to say it with me, say it with me. Look at the material. Shout out to Tiffany Poland for giving us like some very iconic phrases. Like, if you don't know who Tiffany Poland is, where have you been? This is another Anthurium that to me is incredibly hardy. Like, sis has been through a lot. The Nigerian sun on several locations, and including recently, almost fried her to pieces, as you can see. But she bounces back. There was a particular time that the sun burnt all her leaves, and I literally had to start her all over again. And here we are a couple of months later. This is an Anthurium that I also believe will size up once I give it a bigger pot. So I'm also going to be reporting this plant in our plant Kiki and Q&A reporting video. But in the meantime, we've got new growth here. She's always rewarding me with some form of new growth or the other. I mean, I'm not like an Anthurium aficionado. I just have a few. And I can vouch categorically that she is one of the easier ones. I just can't stop. I just can't stop this. I just can't stop bouncing. And I love that the leaves are like heart-shaped. Oh my goodness. People have been telling me, please separate this plant and sell a pop, but I can't bring myself to do that. I can't bring myself to do that. There are certain plants in your collection that you just cannot bring yourself to separate or divide or to propagate. Like, do you feel me? But yeah, I have to say this again before we move to the next plant. Look at the material. This next one, some may call her basic, but like, so what? Ladies and gentlemen, my Philodendron Broiler Max. Actually, this used to be a variegated Philodendron Broiler Max. Can you see the variegation there somewhere, somewhere around? But then the green completely took over and I just allowed it be. I have taken cuttings of the variegated one. In fact, I'm going to show you one of the variegated specimens I grew out of this as a bonus. I know I said 10, but I'll show you that one as a bonus after this. Oh, you can see parts here where she's still retaining some of that variegation. But yeah, but the green quickly took over and I just let it be at one point. I was like, you know what? That's what you want to do. Be yourself, you know, do you, girl. But she is so easy and so like unproblematic. The only downside, especially if you're growing this plant in the tropics, is that this plant can become an invasive weed in your garden. It can literally take over. It can crawl up your walls. It can be such an invasive weed, which is why I've had her in this same pot for 4 years. Okay, no, not 4 years. No, 2 years, 2 years, not 4 years. Same pot, and I pretty much starve her of nutrients. I don't fertilize. I don't even water her regularly. Practically neglect her because I want to keep her compact. I don't want her to grow and take over my garden. And I absolutely love the growth profile. I love that she's like this, compact, bushy, you know, a very, 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 I will always recommend this Philodendron. It also makes a fantastic house plant. She's just unproblematic. Also, is it just me, but do certain Philodendrons have this pungent smell when you cut them? Like this babe, she has that smell, that very, I don't know how to describe it, but it just reminds me of a Philodendron. I personally find it a bit unpleasant. She has that smell when you cut at a leaf, or even now that I'm carrying her, she still has that smell. But yeah, let's move on. It's about to rain. This video is going to get darker, so let's move on to the next one. Babes, I almost forgot to show you our bonus variegated Philodendron Broiler Max. So this is honestly an interesting arrangement. I just randomly woke up to this Oxalis triangularis growing from it, and I just let it be because I just thought this was so beautiful. Just look at the material, look at the variegation on the Broiler Max. Just look at, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, beautiful. I feel like this is a beautiful like combination, and I do have to say it after me, look at the material, look at the material. Beautiful, beautiful. Plants really just make you happy, guys. Plants really just make you happy. And
God damn, my God, what is that?
this is another one that some will also describe as basic, generic, but we don't care. This is my Schefflera. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Say it after me. Look at the material. I love this plant because she's so unproblematic. Like, probably like my top 5 most unproblematic plants. And this plant just takes our outdoor conditions so well. She can take our crazy sun. When we had that blistering heat wave, she was not scorched for 1 minute. She even seemed to love it. She can take our intense, crazy rainstorms. She just loves these outdoor conditions. In fact, I'm surprised that some people actually grow this indoors because over here, this is perceived as an outdoor plant. Yeah, this is perceived as an outdoor landscaping hedge plant. Again, repeat after me. Look at the material. Okay, babes, this last one we literally have to go outside, like, because there's absolutely no way of carrying this plant. But let's go take a look at it outside and you have a better understanding. Okay, let's go. So guys, I'm outside here with the last one, this beautiful Cebu blue that has just latched onto the wall. I'm gonna have to insert B-rolls because even this does not capture the true beauty of this beautiful, iconic specimen that is just doing her thing. I am low-key gonna have to, like, detach it from the wall because I don't want it to just climb and get to my neighbors. No, I'm gonna low-key detach it from the wall, and the plan is to just have it, like, just encompass the entire door. But yeah, in the meantime, she's iconic. She's iconic and she's just doing her thing here. And I definitely had to showcase her in this video. So guys, we have come to the end of this video and I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you liked it. I am literally sweating bullets from carrying all these plants. Oh my goodness. So please, if you did, please subscribe to the channel and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye. Say goodbye. Bye.